Hello, everyone. It is Teresa from Teresa's Spot for Art. It is nice to see you all. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to use printables and that wood cutouts are not just for acrylic paint. I have this barn quilt cutout. It's 3D, so these are more pieces to it. I base coated everything white. I'm going to turn you guys around and we are going to get started. So there we go. So I base coated these pieces white. So a lot of times if you use tissue paper is very translucent. Some of my papers, once they are Mod Podged, might be a little bit translucent, and I want to be able to really see the colors. So I pre-painted everything, just a base coat of white. And now I'm lining them up here to make sure that I know how they go. So I am going to put a little line under everything, or marking out every spot that gets wood. I know where the star goes, obviously. I put a little W where there's going to be wood. And so all the other pieces are what you're going to see through, okay? And then I have printed out, these are from Artsy D. This is from the membership, but Artsy D has tons of papers and ephemera and junk journal kits. And I'm going to get some of these neutrals to start out with, I think. Let's see what else we have. Aren't these gorgeous? Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous papers. This is a 60-page pack, but I only printed out maybe 15 pages to do what I wanted to do with this. So I'm going to start by decoupaging. I'm going to do the little ones last, but I'm going to do these big strips first. They're not going to reach. Nope. Because then I can use the scraps to fill in for the little pieces. Because that's lacy, I'm going to use one of these. So it doesn't matter when I'm doing these, it doesn't matter if they are wider than the paper or not, or the section or not, because the other ones are going to cover over. Okay, so I'm just going to start wherever. Let me get my Mod Podge open. Okay, so I'm just going to start wherever, and you're going to get it as we go. Now I have, as an acrylic artist, I have tons of wood cutouts. And you know what? Sometimes people are a little intimidated by acrylic paint, or they have other supplies, and they want to know how else to use them. And this is one way to do that. So I'm just going to start on this section, and I'm going to just start decoupaging. I put a thin layer down, and then I come back and I put a thin layer over the top. And I can cut the edges off if I want or not, totally up to me, because when we come back, these pieces are going to cover that. Okay? So I need another piece down here. Yep. I'm going to go in. I put the Mod Podge on the surface first. I don't want it dripping down the side. And then I'm just going to Mod Podge that on. I'm going to leave the edges hanging off for now too. Don't care about them. And then we're going to do this section. So I put a little W wherever there's going to be wood. I can come back in here and cut this shorter, so it's not totally in my way and I can see what's going on, or I can leave it. Mod Podge it down a little bit. This way it's stuck when I go to add on my slats. Okay? All right. So now we have to go to this section. I'm going to use this piece. Let me cut down the white. This one I marked, but I'm still going to cut it a little extra. This way I don't have to worry about the ends, and we can cut them off when we're done. I'm using these neutral papers for the background. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to use some little bit more colorful papers when I do the top. So you can use your fingers. You can burnish this down with a credit card. You can burnish this down with a scraper, whatever you want to do. If I was doing napkins, I'd be a little bit more sparing with the Mod Podge because we don't want it. Tissue paper will tear. Copy paper is a little bit more forgiving. Okay. And now I'm just going to keep working my way around. I need a little piece for there. That one will work really well. You want to make sure when you do this, your paint is really dry. Okay. And then we need a piece for here. Let's see, is this one going to fit here? Nope. This one will fit here. Okay. I'm just going to rip it. And I am decoupaging all the places that don't have a W for wood. Putting a little decoupage down at the bottom and then a little bit on the top. I'm going to make sure this is down. Okay. And then this one won't fit, but it's not like I have, not enough paper here. So, oh, actually, I measured the wrong one. It will fit. It wouldn't be the first time that I've messed up. I've painted these and I've marked off the sections that I'm supposed to paint. Different colors. Like I'll go in and I'll be like, okay, this is going to be brown, this is going to be red, this is going to be white, whatever. And I'll still go back and mess it up. Okay, and then over the top. So I think I pretty much got, I'm going to do something here, but I don't know what I'm going to do there yet. So these go here and here. So let's start with the top. Let's see what I have. I want to pick something a little bit more bold for the stripes on the top. These are a little bit neutral. I'm not going to use those. So again, dipping my brush in. A little bit of Mod Podge. A little bit of Mod Podge. Oh, I want these to be straight. So I'm going to lay this down so I can eyeball it through the paper. And so my design is about as straight as it can be. Okay. Again, I'm going to take my Mod Podge and I'm going to go over the top and put those off to the side. Let's cut them. So that's up there. Maybe I can do these two side ones this way. So this one goes here and this one goes here. We're going to use the same paper. I'll change it up for the big ones. But this is a beautiful set because it's all coordinating. So again, I'm adding a little bit of Mod Podge to my wood pieces. I'm going to turn this over, get my straight edge again, and lay these out so they're fairly straight. There we go. I'm going to cut, flip this back over, and put a coat of Mod Podge on top. You don't want to use too much Mod Podge. You have to get a feel for it. Too much will cause your paper to wrinkle. Did I put that? And then not enough won't seal it right. So you have to kind of work it out, figure it out, see what works best for you. I mean, it depends on your brush, depends on your hand, how heavy-handed you are. So, and then I think I just have these two pieces left and the star, and I don't know what I'm going to do, up there yet. So again, I want some bold. So let's look through. Aren't these just gorgeous papers? I did those, so I'm not going to do these now. So this might work, and we might be able to line these up. I want it over and hang a little bit. Okay. I'm going to make a mark here, but I want to cut it a little bit wider than that because I want to have room to play. Okay. I'm going to get my Mod Podge. I'm going to do part of this. I'm going to then lay this out fairly straight. Oh, got a little bit of white there. Got to stretch it down, lift it up, put it down. It's probably a better idea to cut all the white off your paper so then you don't have a problem like I just did, because I was going to have a little bit of a white edge there. Didn't want that. Oh, I just had an idea. I don't know if it's going to work, but I just had an idea. All right, so I'm just going to put this on here. I'm going to line this up. So I have seam and seam, the little faux stitch in here. And there we go. And then again, seal it on over the top. I think this one matches better, right? Oh, wait, this one. This one matches better. I'm going to go with this one. So I learned my lesson. I'm going to cut off all the white. This one just only doesn't make it by a tad. To put a little something there. Only this reached the whole way, but it does not. Unless it does not. You know what? We're going to fudge it. We're going to fudge it, and we're not going to care about it. I'm going to get a little tiny piece. Which piece did I? Oh, I'm going to get a little tiny piece from here. Actually, I'm going to use this. And I'm just going to stick this under here. Nobody will know but us, and we're not going to tell anybody, right? There we go. Okay, now we want to let these dry because I already stuck my finger in this one. And this one and ripped it a little bit. So I'm just going to take a little piece of pink. Again, it's a quilt. It's okay. We're going to make it look like we patched it up. Okay? Now we need all these to dry. I'm going to come back to here. So I'm going to get my little cutting mat. A little cutting mat. I'm going to just slip it under there. And I'm just going to cut off all these extra pieces. You want this to be dry and you want a sharp blade. Because if this is not dry, your paper will just kind of curl up and tear. So now we're going to work on our little pieces. You can use your scissors. You can use a sanding block. You can use your X-Acto knife. Totally up to you. The sanding block will give you more of a rustic edge. So it really depends on what you want. Let me do it over this, right? Cut this close all around. And then get my sanding block. So, put this little piece on here. I think that's good now. I just run my sander. There we go. Okay. So this is what we have to begin with, right? Now I'm going to get my wood glue, figure out where my pieces go. You don't need a lot of glue. We're not holding up a guy in his hard hat. I probably should have decided what I was going to do with the star first and the background, but that's okay. I seem to be missing a little piece somewhere, but but I don't know what happened to it. Oopsie. Okay. What do you think so far? So pretty. So pretty. All right, I'm definitely missing a piece for here. I don't know what I did with it. Okay, let's see if I can pull this off. I'm cutting off all the white. Just gonna give this a fold to start out with because I want to see what I need. So I'm gonna fold this in. There we go. So that's how big I need. Okay. Cut it a little bit bigger across here. And then I'm going to cut it there. All right. I'm going to get my Mod Podge. And I'm just going to do this section first. Stick that on here. Okay. Now I'm going to get this piece. And I'm going to overlap it. Now I want it to match. So let me bring it all the way in. So I want the borders to be practically the same. And another coat down of the Mod Podge. Not too thick, not too thin. And I need this part for the top. Put that there. Put that there. Mod Podge it down. Now we have our square, and it's all evenly laid out. Now, what did I do with my star? Oh, here we go. Now, because we have this such a busy background going on here, I get my star. Careful, you don't want to rip your paper. I'm just trying to work out the wrinkles. And then I'm going to Mod Podge the sealer coat. And then we're going to let this dry. Looking good so far. Isn't that pretty? That's so pretty. Again, if you want to use your scissors, your X-Acto knife, your sanding block, whatever tools you have, whatever is easiest for you, you do you. Okay? And because I put my, let's glue this down first. I'm going to show you what we're going to do, how we're going to fix that. It's fairly centered. I'm going to get another piece of, nope, I'm going to, this one. And because this is a patchwork, and I stuck my big finger in there, I can just go back and add a little patch where I stuck my finger, and it looks okay because it's a patchwork quilt. I get my Posca pen. Before I start my pen, I'm going to blot it over here. And now I'm just going to add some highlights and some details to our whole thing. And you can add as much or as little as you want. Don't want to worry about drawing straight lines, and you really don't have to. Since it's brand new, I'm going to give it a good shake. There we go. Okay. Just a little highlight. I'm not adding as much white. The black really stands out. I'm just going back really quick wherever I have black lines and adding a little white highlight to them. And I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just going really quick, a little bit over the white. And I think that is good. I think we're going to call this done. A little piece there. I'll have to come back and glue it later. And there we go. So how pretty is that? Let me turn you guys around. So if you have wood cutouts, you don't need paint to make them look really cool and fun. You can easily use printouts, my free downloads, or ones you get on other websites like RCG Creations, and make your own art. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.